two, one.
Welcome to the Midweek Mic Drop Podcast with Latanya and Maliva,
Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
where real conversations meet real life. Unfiltered takes on faith, relationships, culture, and everything in between.
Now you can start listening.
Let's talk truth and drop the mic.
Welcome to the Midweek Mic Drop Podcast. As soon as there we go. I'm telling you, I don't know why the live stutters like that with our intro, but okay, I got to time that next time just right. Anyway, I am Maliva.
And I'm Latanya.
Yes, welcome to episode 16 of this
16.
podcast. What you say?
16.
16. We're on episode 16, and we are talking missing and murdered children today. I feel like this is kind of a takeoff of last week. We're just kind of going a little bit deeper with the missing children. And this was Latanya's idea and suggestion. So we're going to let her lead. But first of all, let me go ahead and welcome everyone who is on 99.9 KERB. Also, those of you who are listening on 107.7 K Twin FM and also K Twin 107.7 FM. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're also live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. One of these days, we're going to slip TikTok in there. TikTok just be messing with me too deep. So I don't know. We gonna try though, but right now we just on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So again, we're talking missing and murdered children. So Latanya, if you want to go ahead and kick this off, you wanted to talk about the 15-year-old in Baton Rouge.
Ja'Derrius Minnieweather.
Minnieweather, yes.
Is the name. And unfortunately I can't remember the name of the man that they have in custody behind
Let me look that
him.
up.
Ja'Derrius was going to meet a young lady about his age. And from what I understand, she was involved or knew this older man who was in custody right now for him. And I would say for his, murder, but no, there's no body yet. It's believed that the older gentleman had some interest in the young lady
Mm-hmm.
and was upset because Ja'Derrius was trying to get close to her.
Yeah, Maurice Parms is his
Maurice
name.
Parms, that's
Maurice
his name.
Parms is the pervert. Yes,
I was going
that's
to say
him.
Farms.
Parms.
Maurice Parms. And he owns properties.
Uh-oh, did we lose you? Is my co-host still there? There she go.
I'm sorry, I had to put that on Do Not Disturb. I apologize for that.
That's
But he
okay.
owns properties, and so it's been thought that maybe Ja'Derrius's body is somewhere there. I actually have a friend who is going out with a crew at 6:30. They're searching for him right now.
Oh, wow.
But it is believed that he is deceased.
Yeah, I read that. I've been on this since the beginning, since they
There's a
announced that
problem
he
with the
was
sound.
missing. And I was praying that, there would be a positive outcome. However, they have enough evidence to say that he is deceased, but they have not found his body. And I do know the Cajun Navy is out there searching for him as well. Can you hear me?
I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry, I'm unable to hear you.
Oh, Lord. Okay, hold on. I hope it's not. Can you hear me now? Okay, we're having some audio issues on Latanya's end. Can you hear
I'm
me?
unable to hear.
I don't know what's going on. Why are you not unable to hear? That's crazy. Can you hear now? Okay, can you hear me now? She still can't hear me. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on, you guys. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try to just keep this going because I don't know. They can hear you. They can hear you, so you can still speak. I can hear you. I hope you can read what I'm saying. I can hear you. But yes, Maurice Palms, 51 years old. He was apparently trying to get with this 16-year-old girl that Ja'Derrius was friends with, and some sort of conflict broke out. And there's video of him this beating this man to death. Hold on, we have you here twice. Maybe that's the
Left out, which I thought I
okay.
left.
Can you hear?
I could hear now.
Okay. All right, you guys, we are so sorry about that. Listen, technology can be that way sometimes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember I had to leave and come back. 'Cause I've used StreamYard before, so if someone tries to call you, you
Uh-huh.
have to leave and come back. But that was my fault. I didn't put it on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so yeah, I was just kind of going back into Maurice Palms. You were talking about the 16-year-old girl that Ja'Derrius was going to meet, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently police did find some inappropriate text messages
Yes.
between Palms and this 16-year-old girl.
Yes.
The only thing we can say at this time is that Ja'Derrius may have saw something that he was trying to do with this
Mm-hmm.
16-year-old
That he didn't
girl.
want others to know.
And exactly, he didn't want anyone else to find out. So there was a confrontation. And they are saying that there's a video I did see on Facebook. There's a woman that says she has seen the video, but she is refusing to release it because it's bad. Like
Okay.
he beat this boy to death, literally. Okay.
Wow.
And then the police also have footage of him cleaning up his truck. He dumped some stuff that belonged to Ja'Derrius and then came back and retrieved it. So because of that, they're saying there's enough evidence to say that Ja'Derrius is in fact deceased.
And that he is the
And
the
he is
culprit.
the person responsible.
Right.
So it's just at this point finding what I'm going to say now is his remains. And it's just a heartbreaking story because I know there was a member of the Cajun Navy that because they had already been looking at him before this
Mm-hmm.
news broke. And after the news broke, this man and a couple others from the Cajun Navy went to his parents' house, um, to check on them and make sure that they had the news, which of course they had the news before the Cajun Navy had it.
Right.
But he said that he looked in her eyes and the pain in her eyes and the tears and the crying. He said there was no way that we could stop. We got to bring her baby home.
Right.
So shout out to the Cajun Navy that's out there, at this point doing more than the police are doing. I'm just gonna
Right.
say it.
And that's an issue when we have children of color who go missing, or there's a belief that they've been murdered. There's not an urgency or much of a concern from law enforcement or agencies to find those kids or to even bring them home alive when there's a possibility they could be alive.
Yeah, and they don't do justice for children of color. And
No,
I know there we're not even gonna say children of color. Let's call it black children.
black children.
Because we're not lumping ourselves with people of color. We black, and that's it. But I remember the case of Derek Samuels. Remember him? Now
Hmm.
he wasn't a kid. I think he was like 25. I want to say, can y'all please sit down with the shaking and the shimmying? Oh my goodness. I want to say he was 25, I believe. Uh-oh. Listen, Latanya says she coming back in
Yeah,
studio
I'm coming
next
back to the
week.
studio. I can't have my piece here, y'all.
It's
Oh,
okay. It's all good. I need to put my glasses on this one. So Derek Samuels went missing, and they were trying to find him. And this is just going to the police. How the police would not step up. They were not looking for this young man. They did not care. So his family and friends had to get out there and scour
mm-hmm.
the neighborhood, looking for him. And I don't know if this was on June the 3rd when they found him. He was 20. I'm sorry, I said 25, 20. Still a young man, still young. And he was missing for almost a month. And they found his body in a wooded area, East Point Woods, which was near his last cell phone location. But I don't know if you've gotten the update that they're saying that this was possibly a suicide.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because they found a firearm next to him and one casing, just one casing next to him. His phone was there. None of his items, were missing. So they really now are suspecting that it's a suicide.
Okay. And how old was he?
20. Derek
Okay.
Samuels was 20. And that was
Okay.
another case that got me. And I think it's the ones that are mostly highly publicized that we kind of draw more of an emotional tie to.
Mm-hmm.
Because Derek Samuels was all over my timeline, and I'm like, that's a handsome young man. I said, what happened to him? And I kind of got caught up in that. And it was the same with Ja'Derrius. I'm like, okay, where is this kid at? Because
He
it
looks
was
like
just
such a Ja'Derrius was like such a pleasant young man. He looks like he was just a
yeah.
happy kid.
Yeah, yeah. There was so many people that were talking about that, and
Mm-hmm.
there was another teenager who worked with him. I can't remember if it was a church or some sort of charitable organization for over the last summer, where they worked together, and he was saying he just had a heart of gold. He loved helping people,
Mm.
and unfortunately, that is probably what led to his murder
Yeah,
because
he probably thought he was going to help the young lady.
he
Yeah.
was trying to do the honorable thing for this child, knowing there's no way no 51-year-old man has any business even talking to a 16-year-old girl. Why are you even talking to her?
Why are you even having a conversation?
There should be no conversations whatsoever between the two of you. So yeah, he tried to do the right thing, trying to be helpful, and it cost him his life, unfortunately. So the prayer now is that they do find his remains,
Hmm.
so that his family can at least get some closure and lay him to rest. But for that man, listen, God says to pray for your enemies and pray for people, and I'm trying, but sir, I'm praying that he gives justice. That's what I'm praying for.
It's so hurtful that someone that looks like him, someone he should be able to go to for advice and for guidance, did
Yeah,
that to him. That's the
like a
sad part.
father or uncle, at least the
Uncle.
uncle,
Yeah.
someone that he should be able to talk to. And I'm so tired of um the back and forth about, oh, because it was a black man, y'all not gonna talk about it. What do you mean we're not gonna talk about it?
Oh,
Why
yes, we
would we
are.
not talk about it?
Oh, yes, we
I don't
are.
Listen, murder is murder. Let me just
That's
be
right.
clear. I will give the same energy to black folk killing black folk as I will to white folk killing black folk, or black folk killing white
Exactly.
folk. Okay. Now we do understand that with racism, there is a little bit more involved in that, because yeah, y'all hate black people. So yeah, you kill because you hate.
Because you
And
hate.
in this, because you hate who we are and
Hmm.
what we are. But a black person killing a black person is not a racial thing. It's whatever that situation may be at that time.
No.
And
That was this man trying
unfortunately,
to cover his behind. He
he was
didn't
just
want.
trying to, yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's part of it is not want to be held accountable, not
right.
wanting the truth to be told about you. So you would rather take a young man's life than suffer consequences for your actions.
Right. You would rather cover up pedophilia with murder, knowing that both things are going to be found out.
Right. And both are going
Like,
to land you in prison.
both are gonna land you in prison, but the murder gonna land you in there for a very, very long,
Yes.
probably for the rest of your life. At 51,
I'm sure
I'm gonna
51,
say,
yeah.
yeah, you're
It's
gonna
over
be in
with.
jail for the rest of your
It's over
life.
with.
So, and then there was a couple more, because I know we did want to talk about Jadarius, but we also got to talk about Kayla Huff. I don't know if you heard about her.
That name sounds very familiar.
Okay, so Kayla Huff, and forgive me because I'm not sure where Moberly is. Moberly. I've never even heard of that. So they don't give the state here. They just say Moberly, as
Really?
if we all supposed to know where that's at. But there were 5 people charged in connection with the death of this young girl. She was only 16 years old.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, so they
I saw that.
kidnapped her, terrorized her, tortured her, and then killed her. Okay. Now here we go to the race thing because these suspects are all white
Mm-hmm.
and this is a young black girl. Okay. So, I don't know how she knew these people. If she knew these people, if there was something underlying that caused them to do what they did, or was it simply, okay, we this black girl, let's get her. We don't know that, okay? But so Alana Mason, 20, is charged with first degree murder and first degree kidnapping, facilitating a felony, inflicting injury, and terrorizing. Hunter Ames, 19, charged with first degree murder, first degree kidnapping, facilitating a felony, inflicting injury, terrorizing, and tampering with physical evidence. Christopher Hall, 23, was charged with first degree kidnapping, facilitating a felony, inflicting injury, terrorizing, and tampering with physical evidence. And Julian Mason, 26, and Skylar Powell, 24, charged with facilitating a felony, inflicting injury, terrorizing, and both tampering with evidence, with physical evidence. 5 white people terrorized, kidnapped, terrorized, tortured, and then murdered a 16-year-old girl. And the news itself, I didn't see them talking about this a lot. Most times we see this on TikTok, we see this on Facebook. Local news may mention it, but it's not getting a lot of attention, right?
Right.
And I really don't know much more about her story because they haven't really talked about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also have another 16-year-old girl who was found dead in the Illinois River 2 days after she was reported missing. Her name was Destiny Neal. Her body was found this past Sunday, June 21st. She disappeared on Friday, June the 19th.
Oh.
She was last seen Friday, June the 19th around 7 p.m. local time in the city of Elgin. So this is Illinois. And she was discovered deceased in the Fox River on Sunday. Kane County Coroner's Office confirmed her identity and is now investigating the cause of death. Okay. So I feel like anytime this happens to one of ours, it's automatic suicide. And so when I read about Derek
Mm-hmm.
Samuels, I was kind of hesitant to accept that because suicide, like it seemed, it seemed like this young man had a good life. It seemed like he was happy. It seemed like he was into his music. Why would he just up and take his life?
Hmm.
So I'm wondering what the narrative is going to be on Kayla Huff.
Right.
Are they going to try to say, oh, she jumped in the river and drowned herself? I don't know. And did you also hear about, now again, we were talking children, but we gonna talk about a black person, period, if it's suspicious, okay?
Right.
There was also, I'm sorry. Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? I hope I saved this. The lady that went to Miami. She was 27 years old, and they found her hanging. Did you
Yes,
hear about that one?
I did. I think I heard about that a couple days ago.
Yeah. Hold on,
Um,
cause I'm gonna find it. Go ahead, say what you got to say, cause I'm gonna look this up.
um, was she the one? I'm gonna make sure. Was she the one that went with some friends and disappeared?
Um, Toria Nicole Miller. That's her name. I did have this pulled up, but then I for whatever reason, I lost it. Um, yes, Tania. Get out of my face. Tania Nicole Miller, 27-year-old black woman found hanging from a tree near Gwen Cherry Park in Miami-Dade. They're calling it an apparent suicide. Already, they're calling it a suicide, but won't provide any details. So they're calling it a suicide, but not giving the public the information that they need to accept that. Her loved ones are not convinced and are seeking an independent autopsy, and that's something that every parent should do.
So that, yeah, somebody should
From
request that.
Yeah, don't trust these people. Please don't trust
Mm-mm,
these people.
mm-mm.
Community members are questioning, and this happened on Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
on Juneteenth. Okay. They're calling out the lack of mainstream media coverage because, yes, even typing up her name, the only post that popped up was Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and whatever this is, like a thread of some sort. No news coverage whatsoever.
Oh wow.
So this is crazy. Um, Yeah, I don't believe that this young woman hung herself. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. They keep doing this every time that they find a black person, especially hanging from a tree. They say, "Oh, it's suicide." But I'm sorry. I know this is a newer generation and they're built a little different, but I still
Mm-hmm.
maintain that a black person is not going to climb a tree and hang
And hang
themselves.
themselves. No, that's just not. This doesn't make sense for us.
I'm not buying that, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to ever believe that that's something that we can do. And I'm not saying it would never happen, but what I am saying is that 9 times out of 10, it's not likely.
Well, I
And
think that
especially a young girl.
right, and I also think that when it happens away from home, suicide would be the last thing. Most of the time, when someone takes their life like that, they are at home, so that someone can
True.
find them.
True.
Someone they
True.
love can find them. They leave a note. They want that person to find that note. So
Right.
to
Right.
go away from home and do that, when you could do that in a safe place at home,
Yeah.
I'm not convinced either.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, you're very right on that. I feel like if one of us decided, hey, this life is just too much and I can't deal with this anymore, you definitely are going to be somewhere where your family is going to find you and no questions will be
And
asked.
you're gonna do something that's quicker than that.
And
That takes
quicker.
time. Everyone knows you're gonna suffer. It's not gonna be instant.
No, it's not. Unless you snap your neck immediately,
Right,
which,
right.
you know, are you
Chances,
really going to take that chance?
right, right.
Yeah, so no, it's either gonna be a quick, shot, or you gonna take some pills and drift away. Okay.
Um, it kind of makes me think about this case, and she wasn't a kid, black lady in her 50s. She was from Alexandria, Louisiana. The last time she was seen was at a washateria, October 1st, 2024. October 1st or 2nd. Disappeared. No one heard from her after that. This woman had kids, grandkids who she would not have go that long without talking to. Her birthday passed. Her family didn't hear from her. Christmas, Thanksgiving, all those holidays passed. For 2 years, in 2024 and 2025, her family decided to go looking for her themselves. They had gone to neighborhoods, abandoned houses. Tell me why, just 3 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, her remains were found in one of those homes they had already looked in.
Oh my goodness.
Someone put her remains there
Right. Because if
because
they
they were probably
searched,
tired of hearing about the people looking for her. So let me go ahead and do this and get this out the way. And then, with decomposition for so long, evidence is, you know,
hard
yeah, it's really
to
hard
to
to
get.
gather evidence. But my
Yeah.
thing about that is that her family had to hound the detective. They had to call him and give them their leads, and they still did nothing.
Yeah.
They
Because
did
they don't
absolutely nothing.
care.
They don't
They don't
care.
they don't care about our children, and this is the reason why we have to. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
We really do. And I don't know if you saw my post earlier on Facebook, but God led me to make it about the black community coming back together as a village,
Yes, true.
but not only coming together as a village, but coming back to God
It's true. Very
as
true.
a unit. As a unit, we got too many of us that are into the voodoo, hoodoo. We want to be into the tarot cards. We want to ask our dead
Mm-mm.
ancestors for resolutions. We want to talk to the moon. We talk to our crystals. We want to do all of that instead of just going to the creator
I'm going to God every time.
every single time.
Every
And
single
I'm
time.
I'm telling you, I've been struggling over the past couple of days because I started a fast on Monday and I
Mm-hmm.
failed. I failed.
No.
because I let Satan get in my head. Like, what are you doing this for? You ain't nothing gonna change. Man, when I tell
I know
you,
I've been there. Fasting can be difficult. It can
oh,
really be
it's
difficult. You know, anytime you try to do something for the good, something for clarity to get closer to God, the enemy finds a way to swoop in.
oh, I mean,
You
he
gotta
he
have the
got me.
armor of God. Ooh.
He got me so good, and
Oh my goodness.
it just hit me last night as I was sitting there stewing in my anger. I was like, you know what? I'm just so dumb, and I know God is up there laughing at me, like, yeah, you fumbled that one. Like, well, how you let
Yeah,
him get in your head like that? And I did, but so that's real spiritual warfare right there when
it
you go
is.
on a fast because he gonna throw
Oh
everything.
yes.
So I was good on day one, but come yesterday, I was like, what? Why am I doing this? Where did that even come from?
I
Right?
know, right?
So I just went right back and got my big back food and didn't care. So yeah, we definitely need to get back to, we're
Yeah,
missing
we
the
do.
praying grandmothers and the praying mothers,
Oh
and we're
yes,
missing the church going
yes.
out into the community and knocking on doors. Hey, can we pray for
Evangelizing,
you?
saving souls.
Evangelizing,
You know,
the anointing oil, anointing people's doors. You know what I'm saying? Hey, can I anoint your house? We're
yes,
missing this.
we
We
are.
are
We
missing
definitely
this.
are.
Yeah.
And I think that, too, a lot of times these young people they come up missing. It's always someone they met on the internet. You got to be in your kids' business.
Yeah, you do.
If you have an iPhone or your children have an iPhone, set up that phone on your iCloud account.
Yes.
Set
Yeah,
it
so
up.
that you could see
There's a way to
what's
set up
coming
so you can
in.
see everything that they're doing, but they can't see yours. But that's the way you can see everything. There's ways to put restrictions on those phones. My child has to where if you're not a contact that I save using my code, you can't call or text him.
Right.
I can
Right.
you can
And that,
restrict certain apps.
yeah.
Like we have to be in our kids' business. You have
Yeah,
to be.
cuz and it's crazy because I remember, me being Gen X. Gen X, man, I used to walk 5 o'clock in the morning a mile to go feed my horses. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And at 11, at
Hmm.
12, okay, we
Yep.
talking young, and would be safe. I only had one incident. I only had one incident where someone tried to, run up on me, but I also carried a switchblade. So I was like, okay,
Right.
do you want to die today?
I
Because
don't
my
think
daddy
so.
taught me how to use this blade and I will use it. But other than that, I was always safe. And it's unfortunate that, depending on where you live, honestly, you can't do that anymore. Um, and I think that leads to another thing is the friends.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, because when we were talking about Derek Samuels, this is another reason why them claiming suicide is not sitting well with me, because his friends were acting really shady on
Mm.
social media, and
They
there
knew
was
something. They know
they
something or
knew
did something.
something. And there was one girl, I think her name was Michaela or something. I remember her mama made a video like, oh, they about to get you. They about to get you because she lied and said that she saw him after he disappeared. And they just that like their stories kept changing and all of that
Hmm.
stuff. And that's the reason why I'm like, oh, I'm having a hard time believing that it's a suicide. First of all, because he did not seem like, from what I've seen, he was in that headspace of, I
Hmm.
want to end my life. Now, that's not always an indicator because people will walk around with a smile on their face and they'll kiki and they'll joke, and on the inside,
Yeah,
they're
a lot of
hurting.
times you don't see it coming.
You don't see it coming. They're not going to tell you, I think I'm going to end my life. Okay, they will just do it. But the friends, their behavior, that's what's really putting me in this headspace of, nah, that boy ain't kill himself. I'm not
Hmm.
buying that. I'm not
The truth
buying
will
that.
come out. The
Yeah,
truth
I
will
hope
come out.
I hope
I
so,
know
and
this
I
is
hope.
totally off subject,
Go ahead, go
but
ahead.
speaking of truth, I was watching on social media talking about Carmelo Anthony. There's a lady that was there, and from what I understand, she was not asked to testify in court. but she did speak on it. And what she said was that Carmelo fell back with the knife, and the other boy fell on him. Metcalf fell on him. That's how he got stabbed. That's what she said.
That is the second time that I've heard that. Someone else was saying that, and I don't know where they got that from. But
Well,
of course,
she was there, and everyone wants to know why wasn't she able to testify that in court?
well, we know why, because it was a setup. The whole thing was a setup.
And
The,
she is a Caucasian woman. Her and her husband both spoke on that.
okay, so and that's okay, because, we're still talking about a young black man, and this
No.
is his life. So
That's
we're
what was
still kind of
said now.
we're on topic. We're still
Yeah.
on topic.
Okay.
What I understand is that he has what they're calling a new dream team. So he has about 5 lawyers now. And I pray that they have gotten in contact with them, because I do know they put in an appeal. So we're just waiting to find out what's going to happen with that. They want to appeal on the basis that this was not a fair trial,
Was
and I
it?
would agree with that. It was not
It
it
was
was
not.
not fair that the judge is buddies with the Metcalf family. It was not fair that the DA was friends with the Metcalf
Was
family.
that not a
It was.
conflict of interest? I
It
mean, that
is.
should have been
Yeah.
that
Well,
should have
see,
been determined from the beginning.
the other thing about that is that he was not tried in the county where it happened. They took him to another county.
And his
So
jury should
right,
have been a group of mixed people. Should have been different ages, different races.
he should have
That's
had
another thing.
representation. He should have had representation that looked like
That's
him.
right.
Okay.
Exactly. Should be
Imagine,
diverse.
yeah, imagine the horror of a white man being accused of murdering a black man, and then
And the
getting in
whole
court
jury.
and seeing a all black jury.
Right.
Can you imagine what that man's going to be thinking? Like, oh, I'm about to hang, ain't I? Okay, so yeah, that was the all white jury. The fact that they only called witnesses that seemed to benefit Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf, the people that should have been there. The fact that they did not call Hunter, the fact that they did not call Carmelo, all of these things made this not a fair trial, in my
Right.
opinion. And even the lawyer that was defending him, because a lot of this stuff slipped because the lawyer didn't say anything. The lawyer did not contest to an all white jury because he's a white man. He
Right.
was a white man. He didn't contest to that. But if it was a black man standing there as his defense attorney, they would have been like, no, we completely disagree with this
Right.
jury. We need
Exactly.
some mixture up in here. What are y'all trying to do? This ain't the
But it's
1950s. Stop
supposed to be
playing.
diverse. You can't. I mean, you can't tell me that they went through jury selection and just thought it was okay to choose all people of one race.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have
So,
never been all black people.
right.
Never.
They would never do that, especially
They
if the
wouldn't allow
person is
that.
white. They would not allow that. They would not allow an all Hispanic jury or an all Asian jury. So why on earth would we think it's okay to provide an all
And
white jury?
I saw what his dad said about it. It was a load of crap. I mean, my heart goes out to them for losing their son, but it's apparent that his son had the same views and outlook towards black people that he has. Very evident, and people try to justify the things that man said. You cannot make me believe that that man likes anyone that looks like me
No,
or
I don't
you.
believe it. I don't
The
believe it.
things
He
that he
doesn't.
said,
Yeah.
and he tried to say that black people didn't want to be on the jury. Since when do we have a choice?
Yeah, you don't have a choice but to be on the jury. And I feel like that's a lie, because it's too many black people that were, supporting Carmelo Anthony. And if
Right.
given the chance to be on that jury, they would be like, yes, I'm good. Yeah.
Right. They
No,
didn't
I
want a
told
mistrial.
that's what it is. They did
They
not
did
want a
not want a
mistrial,
mistrial. They
because
wanted him to be guilty,
that's exactly
and
what
that
would have happened.
guaranteed him to be guilty. The judge being friends with
Yep.
Metcalf's parents and having an all-white jury, from the beginning it guaranteed a guilty verdict, and they know this.
And that's why the verdict was rendered so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they
Yeah.
were back there for 3 hours. Come on, you don't want a murder
In a murder
trial
case?
and a murder case, and one that's highly publicized at that.
Right.
And
Right.
then I also heard that they took him to the prison, but then he was transferred to another prison, which is where he's supposed to be. But they said, man, usually it takes like 2, 3 months
Well, they were
for
so
you to
ready to
get
lock
into
him
that.
up and keep
They
him where he
were
was. Yeah, we're
ready.
ready. They made an example out of him. I feel like they're trying to tell us that even if you defend yourself, you're still wrong. We're still gonna lock you up. But you have to look at things though. It's coming from the top down.
Yeah,
It's from the
yeah.
top down. Look who's leading this country right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
You know, and
absolutely.
and and a lot of things that were like 10 years ago people wouldn't dare try. They feel so comfortable doing now.
Yeah. They're coming out of the closet
Oh
because
yeah.
their president has made them feel 1,000% comfortable in doing what they're doing and saying the things that they're saying and feeling that sense of entitlement. That's what it is,
Mm-hmm.
entitlement
So they
to
won't be
tell
president forever.
yeah, entitlement to tell a black person to get up from the seat that they're in. Entitled to tell a black
Hmm.
person you can't be here, or telling us what we should be wearing or saying. The
Hmm.
entitlement is insane, but just remember, people, please, there's consequences for your actions. And you might get someone who doesn't want to be bothered and they might just laugh you off. And then you're going to get someone that's actually going to fight back. And that may cost you your life. So
Right.
please leave black people alone.
Alone.
I cannot stress this enough. You hate us, but you can't leave us alone. It's an obsession.
Yeah. Very much so.
It's an obsession
It's
at
an
this
obsession.
point.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, if you don't like us, then why do you go out of your way to walk up to where we're at? Nay, what are you doing? Why you mind your scoop ball head business,
I don't get
please?
it. I'm
I
walking
don't
my dog
understand.
in the park and here you come messing with me.
Yeah, I'm
You're
sitting
lucky
on a
my
bench.
dog doesn't bite you.
Oh my goodness! I listen. I wouldn't even hold mine back. Go get them.
Oh no. Leave me alone. My dog
Go get
protects
them.
me.
Yeah, there's a video circulating too of some young black kids that were at a park. I can't remember what city and state this was in, and it was actually a white woman that was there. And the police walked up to this group. Now, mind you, they were just sitting there. They weren't. There was no loud music. They
No
weren't
bothering
smoking no
anyone.
weed. They weren't talking loud. They were just sitting there chit chatting and kicking it. Right? It's a park.
Hmm.
So the police come up, hey, we got to report, people are uncomfortable and you got to leave. And so there's a white woman sitting there. She's the one recording. And she's like, well, I'm sitting here and I'm not uncomfortable. What's the problem? They're just,
Right.
so shout out to that white woman that actually stood up and said something, but they ended up having to get up anyway. And I did see their post on TikTok, their TikTok video where they were kind of talking about it, and they was like, yeah, that's kind of hurtful because we was just sitting there minding our business. And I don't think that people take that into an account either, how hurtful this is to our kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm an adult. I'm 53 years old. I got thick skin. You gonna have to say or do no. Nothing you say is gonna really permeate with me because I done heard it all.
Right.
Okay,
But our
but
kids are different.
these are young people, and this is the world that they're growing up in, where they gotta watch their back from their own kind, from jealousy. We gotta stop
Hmm.
doing that. Oh, she thinks she all that, or he think he all that, and now you got
I'm
your
so sick of
own
that.
people fighting you, but then you got racists telling you, you a monkey, you stupid, you ain't this, you ain't that, you a thug, you ain't never
You
gonna be
know.
nothing. Imagine
Um.
how
Yeah.
how
My
our
my
kids
my
feel
son. He's 9 years old, and he's gone through that. Um.
already.
Yes, he's 9 years old. He's gone through that. The school he attends, they actually had to call an assembly to talk about the kids saying racist slurs.
Mm.
A couple of kids have made comments to him and told him he has the wrong skin color. He had a kid tell him that me and him are poor because we're black. Um, He had someone tell him that I know you have brothers and sisters because black people have a lot of kids. And I was livid.
I
I
mean, yeah.
requested to speak to this kid's parents because I
Yes,
wanted to tell them that you are raising your child to hate someone because of the way he looks. And my son was like, Mom, I'm getting tired of him and I'm going to end up putting my hands on him.
there it is. There
And
it
I
is. And
told
then we're
him,
wrong.
and I told him, just let them call me when you do. Because this is the thing, no one is going to sit there and be tormented and picked on
Mm-hmm.
over and over again because of something they can't help. My son cannot help that he's black.
Right.
For those of you who teach your children that hateful stuff, you are digging them a hole. I promise you, you are.
Yeah.
What they say, F around and find out,
There it
that's what's
is.
happening right now. Y'all keep
Mm-hmm.
messing with us, and that's what's happening to you.
Yeah.
But for my child to be 9 years old,
And going through that
elementary
already.
age, for them to call an
Yeah.
assembly because there's too much of it going on in school, you guys are failing as parents. You worried about us failing as parents? No, you all are failing as parents. We
Yeah.
don't teach
And
that. We don't teach our
we
kids that.
don't. We don't. I've never in my family, and of course I have to keep reminding people that I am biracial. So, in my family we were taught that you don't judge people by the color of their
You
skin,
love
period.
everybody.
You love everybody unless they prove that they're not worthy of that
That's
love and
right.
respect.
And that could be at any
Let them,
color.
yeah, let their character is going to speak on how
Right.
much you respect them, but don't look at them and assume, oh, they're poor or they're this or they're a criminal or they're dangerous because of the color of their skin. Okay, we got some of the nicest looking people out here that are some of the most
Mm,
dangerous.
sure
Okay,
that.
wearing suits, working 9 to 5s on Wall Street, and some of the most dangerous psychotic people you will ever want to meet. So do not judge a
Mhm.
book by its cover.
All
Okay,
serial killers appear to be normal people. When the
please.
people found
Oh,
out they were the ones that were doing it, they couldn't believe it. That
well,
was
they
late.
couldn't.
Ted Bundy had a girlfriend
Yeah.
that loved him and thought he was great. And when she found out he was
Imagine
doing that,
that.
she was sick.
Imagine that. Imagine being in love with someone and finding out that they are a killer,
Hmm.
a serial killer
A
at that.
serial killer. And that happens. And a lot of times those people don't look like us.
99.8% of the
Yeah.
time, they
There's
don't
been a
look
couple
like
of us,
us.
but
Yeah.
yeah. And so we can't judge like that. And I hate that people teach their kids that. I really
Yeah.
do.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, and I know it's kind of like looking for a needle in a haystack when it comes to dealing with the school district. But honestly, if they're having that much issue with racism in an elementary school,
Hmm.
the moment that it happens, the parents they need to be suspended and the parents need to be called in.
I believe there's not enough action being taken.
It's because they don't care.
But if my son was bullying somebody because they have on Walmart tennis shoes, he'd
Hmm.
be in a world of trouble.
Oh yeah,
But someone can bully him because he's black and you call an assembly to talk to everybody. No, forget that. I want this child to suffer consequences for it. I don't need you to
exactly.
call an assembly for everybody.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what we do. We coddle it. Let's
Hmm.
be honest. We coddle it. We make excuses. Oh, they're
Yep.
just kids. But when the kid suffers consequences, so does the parent.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if he fights back, then of course
Then
he
he's in
gets
trouble.
suspended. He's in trouble. He gets
But he won't be in
suspended.
trouble with me.
Oh, I don't know if I told you that story about my oldest son that kept getting picked on and picked on and
Hmm.
picked on, and he did what he was supposed to do, which is, go to the adult, tell the adult, let them
Right.
handle it. If they put their hands on you, and the adult doesn't do anything, then you have a right to defend yourself. So it
That's
happened
right.
three times on the same day. It happened in the classroom, it happened in the cafeteria, and it happened again in the bathroom. They got in the bathroom, this kid put his hands on him again, and my son Molly whopped this kid down the wall, through the
As
daggone
he
toilet,
should.
and to the floor.
As he
And
should.
man, I got the call. You gonna have to come pick up your son. He's suspended. And I get up there and I ask, I said, so did you, and I'm looking at him while the principal was sitting there. I said, did you tell your teacher in the class? He said, yes, ma'am. I told her. I said, she didn't do anything. He said, no, she told us to get back to work. I said, okay, so in the cafeteria, did you tell anyone? He said, yes, I told the attendant that was in the cafeteria. I said, did she do anything? No, she told me to sit down and eat my lunch.
Hmm.
When they were on the way, he told the teacher again, because if I'm not mistaken, he tried to trip him up while they were in the line on the
Right.
way to the bathroom. So he said something again. So that's three times. So I looked at the principal and I said, well, he might be in trouble here, but he not in trouble with me. Matter
It
of fact,
seems like
I'm
your
going to take.
staff.
Yeah, I said, it seems like your staff is the problem, because if my child is telling you that someone is bullying him and putting their hands on him, and y'all tell him to sit down, do your work, or whatever, whatever, the problem is not him. The problem is you.
Right.
I said, my son is not a punching bag. He's not a rug for people to walk on. And he did exactly what I told him to do.
He
He
was given
comes
no
to an
option but
adult.
to defend himself.
Right. And that's what I told the principal. He's doing exactly what I told him to do, which is if someone is messing with you, you tell the teachers, three strikes, you out. He handled it and I'm done. So
Right.
I'm taking him to McDonald's and he's going
Hmm.
to enjoy his next 3 days off.
That's
Thank you
right.
very
At home.
much. At home. Without the drama. And I advise y'all, you better get with the parents of this kid, because when he comes back, if that kid does it again, he gonna mollywop him again. You
We and
understand?
we have to be that way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to I had to tell my son's assistant principal. I said, look, I said, I know they're not putting his hands on him. I say, but how long is he going to take being tormented before he just decides to swing?
Yeah.
You know, I
Because
mean, if someone keeps doing this, what else are you going to do to get them to leave you alone?
yeah,
Make an example.
sometimes you gotta punch him in the mouth.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying. So I
sorry.
don't know. I don't know what they expect.
Yeah.
But
And
if
we
he
not
done that to one of them, trust me, it would
he'd
be a
been gone.
problem.
He'd have been gone. He'd have been gone. So yeah, this is what our black children are also dealing with in school. And mind you, this wasn't supposed to be a show about race, and but unfortunately, it kind of has to be at
Yeah.
this day and age because of what's going on. We're talking about missing children, and I just gave two examples. Well, actually, it's oh no, there was another one. There was another young black man, and I tried to find this story. I thought I saved it. He
Hmm.
was also, I think, either 15 or 16, and he was also killed by four white people.
I think I saw that too.
I can't remember his name though, and I saved the story and I tried to Google it and I cannot find it. This was recent. He was killed by four white people.
Were they his friends? Were they supposed to be his friends?
No, these look like adults, kind of like the same situation with Kayla Huff. These were adults, and it looked like a couple of them were older adults.
Do you
Yeah.
remember there was a lady, she was black. I think she went to a sleepover with some moms. They were all white.
Yep.
And it was supposed to be like a mom's night or something.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you saw of her was a picture of them on a couch.
Yep.
And then they said hours later she was dead in the front lawn.
She was dead in the front lawn. How she end
And
up
no
dead in
one
the front
knows what
lawn?
happened to her. How in the world? And from what I understand, there was never really an investigation.
Probably because the ladies that were there, you got to understand, it's all white ladies. So
Hmm.
they got this together, got their story together, and the police are not going to question that.
They probably had their story together before it even happened.
Yeah, they probably set her up. I believe that, and it's possible that they drugged her. We don't know because they never investigated.
Mm-mm. They
We
don't.
still don't know what happened to that young woman, and that goes back to getting back to the topic, because I know we kind of been all over the
Yeah.
place, and
Yeah.
that's fine. It happens like that sometimes when you passionate about what you're talking about and you passionate about your people. This is what happens. You might veer off of the topic, and that's okay. We
Hmm.
covered the basis of what we needed to talk about, which was Ja'Derrius, and we talked about Kayla. We talked about Tania, the 27-year-old woman found in hanging in Miami. So we did touch those bases, but this is what happens when you are passionate. You will veer off. But people, we gotta be. Now is the time, and I said it before, I'll repeat this. First of all, we need to get back to God. And I know this is not a religious podcast, this is not a faith-based podcast, but both of us that are hosts on this podcast are believers. We
I
are
believe it.
saved,
Yes.
and we lean on God. We lean on Christ. Okay, so that's going to be a part of this from time to time, right? We got to get back to God, but then we also have to always have our head on a swivel.
Yeah.
And I mean that's with one another, right? Your young kids, because it's haters out here. You gotta start
Yes.
knowing who your teenagers' friends are.
You do.
You gotta know who these people are, and not just them, but their parents. Who's raising them? Who's raising them? Because when my kids were younger, people, we were the house where everyone came to. Our
Hmm.
house was the hub, right? All of their friends was at the house at any given moment. It was either my oldest son's kids or my daughter's kids, his friends or my daughter's friends. Our house was never empty. Okay, it's always somebody else's kids up in there. But
Hmm.
they knew that we were in church. They knew our house. They'd been to our house. When it came to them going to other people's houses, I needed to check y'all out. The same way y'all wanted to, come in my house and make sure we kosher, I need to make sure y'all are straight too.
Yeah, those are your kids.
You need to know who you're dealing with. I need to see your character. Unfortunately for us, everyone that our kids were friends with happened to be in the church as well. So it
Right.
made it a little easier for us because we sit in church on every Sunday and Wednesday with these people. So,
Yeah.
we doing missions with these people. We kind of knew their character. But outside of that, man, parents, y'all got to really talk to your kids about, the setups, the things that are happening with that. I saw another young black kid, I think he was 15 or 16, and this is happening to our young teenagers. He was set up by a girl, took him to the house and told him, hey, don't bring no weapons. We good. We just gonna chill. He walked in there to an ambush.
Hmm.
He walked into an ambush. They setting them up. So yeah, come on, y'all. We gotta do better. We got to get back to praying for our kids. We got to get back to anointing our kids. And we got to get back to being active parents,
Yeah.
right?
And stop making
Knowing,
them so green. Don't hide things from them. Don't hide the world.
yeah,
Tell
yeah.
them, tell them what's really going on and what's really out there.
Yeah, and that needs to start early, like
Yeah,
at a
and
young age.
very early. Listen, my son asked me a question. We were somewhere and he's like, "Why is that boy dressed like a girl?"
Uh-oh.
We had an entire conversation. I explained everything to him. He knows what that is. I'm not hiding anything from him.
Yeah,
This is the world that we live in.
yeah. Got to
And
know.
I
You
don't
got to,
want my child to be uneducated about those things.
yeah. Sometimes men will dress like women and sometimes women will dress like men. And if you want to
Yes.
go deeper than that, then hey, have that conversation.
You know, and you
Let
have to.
them
They're going
know.
to ask questions, and you have to be honest.
Yeah.
You have to find, and if you don't know how to have those conversations, go to a spiritual leader or a counselor or someone, but don't hide things.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you go into a spiritual leader, make sure they're the right person because unfortunately, it's some churches out here, some pastors that are okay in sin.
Yeah,
They're wearing it like a banner in the church, and it's like, wow, okay, that's what we doing today. This
yeah,
is why God is upset.
yeah.
Okay,
People can live
this
their lives, but some things don't belong in the church.
Yeah, the church is sacred. I'm sorry. And if
Right,
you want to
right,
come into the church in that condition, that's okay because the Bible tells us to come as we are.
right,
No one expects for you to walk through the doors and just hallelujah. It
right.
doesn't work that way. It's a
But behave
process.
yourself in a way that's respectful to God.
Yeah, but to embrace it, that's the problem. No, we're going to
Right,
embrace you just like
right,
they'll embrace me, but they not going to embrace the sin that I bring in.
right.
Okay?
It's a
We sup-
difference.
we supposed to be working that out of you, sister.
Hmm.
Okay? We not going to tell you, "Oh, it's okay. You can have that." No.
No, we have a
You in the
responsibility to be honest with each other.
Yeah, you in the wrong church if they coddling your sin. Okay, you are in the
Right.
wrong church. So, yeah, you got anything else?
No, not at this time. I just want to say to parents again, make sure you're in your kids' business. Make sure you know what's going on. Monitor those phones.
Please.
Those friends. And another thing, we have to teach, to be careful because, sex traffickers are using girls to get other girls.
Oh yeah.
They're using adult women to get girls.
Yeah, they
And
are.
we know from the Epstein files that they're even going through parents to get the kids. They are people are grooming whole families.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah,
you have to
these
be
fam I
careful and diligent.
what was that little girl, the little girl that
Talking about the
disappeared?
man that lived next door to them.
Yeah, I feel like she was also in the Epstein files and I feel like her parents sold her.
Her
That's
parents
what
were
I
letting
feel
that
like.
man babysit her.
I feel
Some
like the
man they
parents had
met,
a
when they moved next door, and a month later he's babysitting their kids.
Yeah, who does that?
That
And
was
especially a
weird to
man.
me.
Just
That was
very,
very
very
weird to me.
strange. So yeah,
You
yeah,
couldn't go through a babysitting service. Some people who
yeah.
checked out. I mean, it's very weird to me.
Yeah, parents are out here selling their kids too, and that's sad. But we got like 5 minutes, so I want to just read what I posted because I was trying to, say what I wanted to say without reading, but I feel like I should read this, and
Okay.
this is what we gonna leave y'all with. And I
Okay.
said earlier this morning, it is time for the black community to return to God. It is time for us to humble ourselves and seek His face and righteousness. The black community is under attack from within and without. We choose to seek tarot cards, witchcraft, our deceased ancestors for answers. We choose to find comfort in the universe instead of seeking the creator of it. Long gone is the village of praying mothers and grandmothers. Long gone is the village that anointed our children and homes with oil and looked out for one another in our most desperate times. If it takes a village to raise a child, how much more powerful is that village when God is guiding it? But Christianity is the white man's religion. Is that your reason for turning away from the one who created all races, who commanded us to love all? Did Yeshua die on a cross for just the white man? Yet you don't notice how many of those people do not hold to one of his commandments. Interesting. Because white colonizers used his word as a tool of oppression does not void his word. That
Not at
tool was
all.
of the that tool was of the enemy for this very reason, to turn you away from God, so that in your anger you wander aimlessly through the wilderness instead of seeking him. You ask dead spirits for revelation or pray to the moon he set amongst the stars, neither of which can answer you. The tactic of using God's word to oppress is still being used today in the form of Christian nationalism. God sees it all and no, he is not pleased. But here's the good news, 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Turn away from drugs, turn away from guns and violence. Turn away from hatred for one another and yes, even your enemies. The battle is not ours, it is his. Turn away from the lies of the enemy born through false religion and racism and turn back to the God of truth. They say there is a revival happening in America. God says if the black community would humble themselves, repent, and seek his face, the true revival in this country will begin. Let's get back to God. The hatred is strong, but God's love is greater. I pray that today, if you feel the urge to harm another, you choose to pick up the Bible instead of that weapon or throw bald fists. I pray that if you feel the need to get high to numb yourself, you go low to your knees and pray. Excuse me. I pray that if you see another hurting, you choose to pray for them instead of mocking them. I pray that if you see troublesome youth, you speak to them in love and offer solutions rather than causticism. I pray that if you see your neighbor struggling, you lend a hand rather than judgment. I pray there is a revival in the black community, one that restores us to righteousness and the kingdom. I pray our village returns to powerful prayer and anointing. It will take the heavenly village to restore the black village. Yeshua said that in this life we will suffer, but he is there with us through it all, keeping a record. But if we seek him, his protection will see us through, and that reward that awaits us will be great. Okay?
Amen.
We got 30 seconds. We will be back next week. We don't know what we're talking about. Y'all know we figure this out throughout the week and then we let you know. So make sure that
Right.
you're following our social media accounts. We are going to get out of here, sis. Enjoy your evening, everyone
All right.
on
I will be
radio.
there next week.
Thank you all for tuning in. We out.
Thank you for listening to the Midweek Mic Drop podcast. You can listen to a replay of this podcast on KERBOnline.live, podcasts and replays.